Good morning and good morning, everyone who's joined so far. Happy Friday. I hope you've had a good week and I hope you got a nice weekend planned. Yeah, so we just put that up on there. Yes, we're going to be covering a bunch of stuff today on Stonksy. Bitcoin, Solana, Doge, Bitcoin Cash, Ape, Stacks, and SHIB. So yeah, without further ado, let's get cracking. Like always, if you've got any questions, just pop them in the chat and I will get to it. But yeah, so let's start off on the Bitcoin 10-minute chart, which yesterday caught the drop very nicely, obviously, as it was looking like it was a bit weak. But interestingly, obviously, this is where 1:30-ish my time. So there is where the US stock market opened. And we had a significant pullback on the S&P 500, Nasdaq yesterday. So indices took a real hit, which was, I think, obviously the main driver of this, the downside that we saw in Bitcoin yesterday, as indices took a big hit. But it's no surprise, really. You know, it was the last day of the month. We'd had a good month on Bitcoin for October. And, you know, last day of the month, profit taking going into the election, obviously on Tuesday. So it's no surprise, obviously, that we got this. I don't think, anyway. You know, a little deleveraging, you know, flush of longs, liquidity hunt, call it what you want, but it's not really a surprise, I don't think. So yeah, obviously, as you can see, yesterday on a 10-minute, Bitcoin flipped red on Stonksy, and yeah, caught all the move down. But like Curve, yeah, you just said it's starting to show a little bit of life now. So we'll see what today brings. Perhaps, you know, indices bounce, but again, it's the first trading day of the month for the crypto market, but obviously more importantly, indices, the stock market. So yeah, we'll see what happens. Tend to not take too much notice of, you know, the last day of the months and the first day. You know, it's just sort of the market reshuffling, you know, going after some liquidity, trying to play people a bit offside. But yeah, so the Bitcoin chart with Stonksy caught, yeah, very decent move down yesterday on the 10-minute. You know, if you caught this, well done. If you didn't, you know, this sort of area, you know, might not be a bad place to have took profit. But if we scroll over to the 30-minute as well, obviously after catching a big amount up to the upside from what about just shy of $67,000. Obviously, Stonksy closed out as the drop started, closed out the green position, flicked into red as it did on the 10-minute, and yeah, caught all the move down. But yeah, like Kev mentioned in the chat, starting to get a little bit of relief to the upside. Perhaps comes up back towards about 71k ish. This seems to be obviously where it found a bit of resistance yesterday after dropping below. So perhaps we get something like this, and then, you know, maybe a reclaim above, and we might see a push back to the highs, or, you know, maybe it just tails off. We'll have to see what happens today, and more importantly, obviously moving into next week. So if anyone does have any questions or anything that they want to ask, just drop it a comment in the chat and I'll get to it. So yeah, they're the two on Bitcoin that I took notice of this morning. Obviously, the closing of the green position, the green background, the long position yesterday as Bitcoin started to drop. Bitcoin caught, Stonksy caught the drop on the 30-minute, the 10-minute, probably a few other time frames as well if you go and look. So we'll see what happens today. But as for Bitcoin, yeah, some really good indications off Stonksy as usual. And a really good one, for the day traders on the 10-minute who use lower time frames. So if we flick over to what have I got up next? Solana on the 30-minute. Yeah, so Solana, another one on the 30-minute yesterday. Caught a real nice position before the drop. Obviously, original position came in before the Bitcoin one. So the Bitcoin one was about 1/2 on the bottom time scale, as you can see. Flipped red. We got this sort of ranging for a bit, and then obviously as indices took the hit, Bitcoin followed. Bitcoin took the rest of the crypto market with it to the downside. So yeah, really nice indication on Solana yesterday from Stonksy on the 30-minute. Would you mind running through? Yeah, I can do that curve. Yeah, I'll do that before we finish. We'll run through obviously the different time frames. You might be a bit conflicted on what to do, but yeah, we can run through that for sure. But yeah, so if you caught any trades yesterday, or maybe you've caught the bounce today, do let me know in the chat. It'd be interesting to see what trades you guys have took this week. Most importantly, obviously yesterday, or maybe you got in higher up on a short. But did you catch the drop yesterday, or are you trying to catch a reversal now? And then the other one that was interesting on Sol was the 5-minute. So yeah, this is one for more of this, like the 3-minute chart I was talking about yesterday. 5-minute chart, super low time frame, one for the scalpers. Obviously, this long position didn't work out, but catch and drop very nicely to the downside there, from 172-ish down to 165. So yeah, a bit high time frame, bit low time frame. It's all good with Stonksy. So the next one we've got up is Doge that we'll look at, and we'll look at 2 time frames on Doge. So as you can see, this was posted on. We posted a Doge position on the X account recently, because I got a real nice one. I think it was on the 4-hour. I'll have to go back and check. But obviously on the 30-minute, it got in on Sunday, just below 14 cents. Caught a nice pump on Doge up towards 18 cents. Doge is one of the best performers in the top 100, and obviously particularly in like the top 50, top 25 this week. And then yeah, alongside obviously the rest of the market, seen some retrace, but real strong move from Doge this week, caught by Stonksy. And yeah, obviously the flip into the red, slight little carryover, but with the rest of the market to the downside. So yeah, any profit taken to the downside, or even here, if you got in around when Stonksy first flipped red, you should be in some decent profit. Yeah, I suppose it depends what happens today, isn't it, Curve? Hopefully you've still got a bit of breathing room if you're talking about Bitcoin. But after yesterday's sort of bloodbath, particularly on indices, it wouldn't surprise me to see a reversal today. Maybe not a full reversal, maybe it might just be a bounce, or if the start of November isn't going to be as bullish as the end of October that we got, then who knows? But yeah, hopefully that works out for you. Just manage your position, manage your risk, and if alarm bells start ringing off, hopefully you'll be able to manage it correctly. So Doge, like I said yesterday with Popcat, we covered Popcat yesterday. Covered it on the CSE live stream as well. You can trade anything with Stonksy. you know, if you like things a bit more volatile, obviously Doge is probably the least volatile meme coin that you can get because it's the highest market cap. It's similar to how Bitcoin is, you know, compared to altcoins. But, you know, once it moves, it real moves. So thank you for the message, Elfish. Elfish Presley. Yeah, good name. So it depends what type of trader you are, really. Obviously, if you're a scalper, you know, you want to be sticking to your lower time frames. You know, that's where your bread and butter is, isn't it? You know, maybe, you know, a handful, maybe even more, if you're really quick in and out of trades a day. But obviously, if you're a higher time frame trader, you know, maybe trading the lower time frames might not come as second nature to you, and you might not be as quick to get in and out as you should be with a scalper. But I think if you're at the desk all day, or, you know, you can keep an eye on your phone, or you can set alerts and things like that, then yeah, looking at different lower time frames is a good idea, because, you know, you might not get an indication on the 15-minute when the 10-minute might fire off, similar to the 5-minute. But I don't know if you was in here yesterday, Elfish Presley, but I covered the 3-minute chart, which is a real powerful tool, particularly on Bitcoin, Ethereum, Solana. And then, yeah, if you want to go down and test it yourself on some smaller altcoins, you know, probably still some large caps, but yeah, the 3-minute chart is the scalper's chart, in my opinion. The hit rate on it is very good. The loss rate on it, I did a back test of recent data, and the loss rate was just 7% across 100 trades, so 93% wasn't in a loss. So yeah, that's Doge anyway. So yeah, props to anyone who caught this. Don't know if anyone did, because obviously, like, the market is sort of shifted to still trying to chase 100x, 50x meme coins, isn't it? But, you know, Doge is ever present, and, you know, like I said, when it moves, it moves quickly and aggressively. But also, we got the reversal. So to anyone who caught that, well done. Hopefully, I answered your question, Elfish. If I didn't, just drop another comment in, and I'll try and answer it fully for you. So up next, we've we've covered the end. So again, scaling down to a bit more on the 10-minute. Obviously, this long position didn't work out, but that obviously is mostly due to the sudden drop that we got in Bitcoin, rather than it being a Stonksy mistake. But it got out of there, as you can see. You know, sometimes it's not all about profit. Sometimes it's about managing risk, obviously reducing losses as much as you can, preserving your capital. And as you can see, this is a great example of where Stonksy can be beneficial in helping prevent loss or prevent greater loss, especially when, you know, when the market is looking like it's going to take a dive. As you can see, it got in up here. It didn't work out because obviously it closed here, but it avoided all this downside and actually flipped red instead. So it caught all this downside on Doge on the 10-minute, and more than made up for itself. But more importantly, you know, like I said, it's not always about profit. Sometimes it's about, you know, preserving your trading account, preserving maybe the profit you've already made throughout the week. And that's a great example of where Stonksy can be beneficial, because it got out the trade there, went into red, and caught a much bigger move to the downside. Oops. So yeah, that was Doge on the 10-minute chart. So next up, we'll look at Bitcoin Cash, because that seems to have been getting a little bit of movement this week. And again, it's the same thing like on Doge. You know, everything got a bit thrown off yesterday due to the sudden drop on the US Open from indices, taking Bitcoin with it, obviously then cascading down to the rest of the market. But, you know, more importantly, we got the flip red Bitcoin Cash on the 10-minute, then ridden all the move down. Well, good. Yeah, I'm glad I've answered your question. If you've got any more, Elfish, just drop them in, and yeah, I'll answer your questions for you. But yeah, again, another example of how you can shift your mindset into, instead of looking for profit each trade, it's also about, managing risk, knowing when to get out of trades, when to reduce your loss, to preserve your trading account. Hello, Steve. Thank you very much for joining. Go, go, go. Yeah. So yeah, that's a great example of where Stonksy acknowledged the potential danger, the momentum to the downside in the market. Cut the green background into red, and then move down. Howdy, howdy. Thank you for joining, Steve. If anyone didn't know, which you probably didn't, but Steve's my favorite American. So yeah, I hope you're having a good day, Steve, and hopefully I'll catch up with you in a bit. So yeah, next up on Bitcoin Cash, we've got the 30-minute chart. So a bit different this time. Obviously, we didn't get the downside move on it, but earlier in the week, Monday, obviously we got the long on a 30-minute position time frame into the green background. Nice move to the upside. For the Pico top, if you're looking to catch it, just over 10%. But if you was maybe to get out in this little lower time frame distribution range, just over 8% ish. So yeah, that's another example of like you was talking about, Elfish, of switching between time frames. One time frame might not be showing much, another time frame might give a good indication. It's all about either if you've got one strategy, perhaps you've perfected it and you stick with that, and it works, it's proven profitable. But if you're flexible with your trading, you can move into other things. So yeah, so that's Bitcoin Cash covered. If anyone has got anything maybe particular that they want covered or shown, just drop a comment in. So the next one we've got is Ape. So basically all I did with this today was go on to the top losers, because obviously there wouldn't be many top gainers for this week, especially after yesterday, and look through, go on to Stonksy, have a look what it was saying, and that's how I plan today's stream. Very simple. So as we can see on Ape, obviously Ape got that massive pump up. I think it was last week or the week before on the 1 hour time frame. Stonksy shifted red, moved down, ended red, a little bit moved back up, closed in profit, still closed up here, so still in profit. Obviously didn't close the Pico top, but break even on this one, and then another one yesterday to the downside on the 1 hour. So that's an example of a bit of more of a high time frame trade, obviously, than we've been looking at. We've been looking at some fairly low time ones, but yeah, that's an example of obviously with something that's a bit volatile at the moment as well as Ape, because it had that really fast move up and it's steadily just been grinding down with some good bounces here and there. So if we move over to STX on the 30-minute, yeah, this is so obviously Stacks is in the Bitcoin ecosystem, so you can sort of identify there's periods of time where it will follow Bitcoin's movements a bit more strongly. But if we look at sort of the recent performance of it on the 30-minute, obviously here, you had the flip red, that long there closed break even-ish, I think. We had the fierce drop down there. And this is where obviously it comes into, a bit of your own intuition, a bit of your own trading, a bit of your own planning. You obviously see, a good drop down, you take the profit that's on the table, be happy with it. Maybe you throw a few SR lines on there to just help you manage the position as well. It's the same for this, into the green background there, got the big run up. If you entered down here, you're at probably just over 10%-ish. Yeah, just over 10%. For a lot of people, that's good enough, and they'll close out the trade. Stonksy ended up closing in profit regardless. But yeah, if you want to, if you wanted to catch the upper move on this, throw a few SR lines on, maybe take the profit once you're happy with it. There's various ways that you can utilize Stonksy. And then obviously the final one that we got yesterday, similar to Bitcoin, and this is what I was mentioning before, where it sort of sensed the danger in the market, sensed the shift in the momentum. Stacks was taking a bit of a tumble. Obviously, it started, to curve over, shift into the red, and then very nice catch of the move down. Current still 9%, but to the Pico bottom, just under 12. And for most people, that would be a good enough trade to close there. If you wasn't following Stonksy right till the end of the colour change, and you was applying maybe your own profit target, maybe a few SR lines, whatever it may be. So yeah, there's STX up there. But with a day like yesterday, when everything takes a tumble, you could probably scale through the whole market on Stonksy with the 30-minute, maybe 10-minute as well, more than likely. And you will see indications like this all over the place, just because it was a day where everything got took down at once. SHIB, we're going to be, so this is another different one. This is sort of like the Bitcoin Cash one that we were looking at before, where it's not given any indication, the last couple of days. But much like when Doge started to move, into the green background, and then caught the nice move up on it. SHIB's obviously a lot like Doge, where it's not as volatile as them smaller ones, but that was an even bigger trade than the Doge one, coming in at just under 16% to the top. Yeah, definitely. Elfish, yeah, the alerts will be a big thing. It'll help a lot of people out. Obviously, you don't have to chart watch all the time. Then you'll have the notifications popping up on your phone, or if you've got email set or whatever it may be. You don't have to be chart watching then, and perhaps then you can, if you don't have as much free time, then you can manage your trading a bit better then, because you can sort of do it on the go. It will be a massive benefit for sure. But yeah, so yeah, good move on Doge, on SHIB this week alongside Doge, and as you can see, it's still got out with plenty of profit. But yeah, another good indication by Stonksy. So I think the 1 hour was looking good as well. Yeah. So here's the 1 hour on SHIB. So obviously, if we're going back towards maybe mid-October, we had the shift on the 1 hour into red, caught the move down, caught this big liquidation wick that we got last week. Closed out in some real nice profit, not too far away from the bottom. But typically on these types of candles, where you have the big long lower wick, that will indicate the bottom if it's not backfilled. But most of the time, this is just a liquidation event. And then, yeah, obviously closed out, really nice profit from up there. Caught along to the upside on the 1 hour, similar to the 30-minute. Closed out, and then even caught some of the short yesterday. So yeah, some really good indication for the past week or two on SHIB on the 1 hour there on Stonksy as well. So thank you very much for joining, everyone. We won't end it there, because we've only been running, I think, 25 minutes. But yeah, there's sort of a brief overview of the market, what Stonksy's been showing the past day after obviously the move that we got yesterday. And that was mostly picked by me just going on to the market, looking at the biggest losers in the last 24 hours, and then just seeing what Stonksy had said on it. And that's how I planned today's live stream. Yeah, Greg, yeah. It'll be really beneficial for sure. it's going to be a great feature for users to have. So yeah, very much look forward to it, and all testing so far is going well. There's obviously a few things to iron out, but so far, yeah, all testing has gone very smoothly on it. So yeah, hopefully that will be released soon. So if we have a look at the 3-minute Bitcoin chart, today it looks a little bit more messy than usual because of the big drop, and then obviously we're getting a bounce at the moment. But if we go and have a look at just the last day or so, a scalper's paradise, really. Even that closed out in profit. That closed out in profit. That did. You get the gist. This is why I've been talking about the 3-minute chart so much for scalpers. Obviously, these are obviously the market's just deciding where it wants to go now, but good morning, Smurfy. Thank you very much for your message. Would it be best to use Stonksy? That's an interesting point. To be honest, most of the time you'll find that they're pretty much similar anyway. There's not really obviously too much difference in between the spot and the perps charts. Obviously on the perps one, sometimes you might get a bit of a wild wick or a bit of a deeper wick as it's taken out some positions. But it doesn't really matter too much with what you use. But obviously, depending on where you're trading, it might be good just to use the perpetual contract chart of that exchange. So, for instance, I've got this is Bybit. I think this is Bybit spot. If we go on to Bybit, yeah. At the moment there's $20 difference in them. That went up to 70,000. Yeah. So there's minor difference, but overall it shouldn't really matter too much. Might just be for obviously if you're really low time frame scalping is obviously when you want that accuracy. Good morning, Michael. Thank you very much for your comment. I've always been scared to do trading. Well, I'm glad that you're finding it useful, or if you've not tried it yet, hopefully, yeah, have a play around with it. Do you have Stonksy yet, Michael, or are you looking to get it? But yeah, obviously the best advice you can give in terms of educational advice. Obviously, nothing is ever financial advice, but in terms of educational advice, if you're just starting out trading, take it slow. Don't rush into things. Really take your time to learn, and don't put too much on the line at first. And then, just learn where you can. Watch as many videos as you can. But yeah, something like Stonksy, just slots right in, and can really hold your hand when you most need it. Thank you for your comment, SMFC. Do you think it would be profitable trading on these low time? I think it obviously depends on one, how much position size you're putting in, and obviously hand in hand how much you're borrowing through leverage. So if you're using high leverage, then obviously you're going to pay more fees. So I would say for the 3-minute, I suppose it depends, doesn't it? It depends on your account size, but for these all throughout the day, it catches. While some of them are small, it does get some of these big ones throughout the day. this isn't the best example today because of the state, obviously, the market's in from yesterday. But if we go back to something like, say, this earlier in the week, this is typically what the 3-minute chart will look like on Bitcoin, not what we're seeing today. So as you can see, it will have a few, obviously, that are break even or a loss, but the strike rate on it is very good on the 3-minute. And yeah, some of them are a bit more bigger than some quick in and outs. So I suppose it depends on, probably the exchange you're trading on, depending on the fees. If you've got an exchange where it's lower on the fee side, or maybe utilizing, because you can get reduction on fees, can't you, through like holding the exchange token and stuff like that. But yeah, obviously it'll depend on how much you're going to be borrowing, how much leverage you're using. If you're cutting it down to 2, 3, 4x, the fees shouldn't be too bad, unless you've got a monster position stacked, which for scalping, I don't know if that would be the best. Yeah, you're welcome, Michael. If you've got any more questions, you can just drop the Twitter account a message, or you can email in. You'll find the email on the Stonksy website. So if you have any more questions, you can email in. But yeah, hopefully it's been a help to you, this live stream. And yeah, it'd be great to have you on the Stonksy team. 5-minute just gone green on Bitcoin. Let's have a look. Oh yeah. So 5-minute is another one. Thank you very much for pointing that out, Kev. So yeah, Stonksy's just closed out the red background after coming in yesterday there, catching all the drop, and it's just gone green there, which, on the surface, looks like a good change, because like I was discussing yesterday, after such a drop in indices yesterday, it'll obviously depend on how the US market opens today, but it wouldn't surprise me if they got a bounce today, which would provide some room for Bitcoin to bounce in theory. And we've got 16 people in. Thank you very much for everyone who's tuned in today. If you've not caught all of the live stream, make sure you go back and watch it from the start. But I think that's the most that we've had so far. Obviously, we only started doing them yesterday. But yes, 617. I think the most we got yesterday was probably around 10. So thank you very much for jumping in. And thank you for the heads up, Kev, on that. Really nice short caught by Stonksy there yesterday on the 5-minute. And yeah, we will see what develops today. If anyone's got any last comments that they want to pop in, just fire them into the comment section now. Otherwise, we'll probably end it there. And I will hopefully see you all on Monday. I'll be here. So yeah, if you're around, make sure you pop in on Monday. I'll just give it a minute or two. Give chance for anyone to get a comment in if they want to, if they've got any questions or if they want to ask anything. But if not, I hope you all have a great Friday and enjoy your weekend. And yeah, we'll be back Monday to review what's happened over the weekend and what the market's potentially looking like moving into next week. I think that's an interesting one, Curve. So if different time frames are giving different signals, so for instance, like if the 4-hour or the, if you scale it back to even like the 2-hour was long, obviously the way that price moves, it's not going to go up in a straight line or down in a straight line all the time, or some of the time you will have them big drops and big moves up. But there's room within then higher time frames for obviously dips to occur, and vice versa. If it's indicating a red background on a higher time frame, there's room for bounces. So it's all about obviously playing with what the market's looking like at first, and then obviously what Stonksy's showing too, because there's obviously room to capture some lower time frame movements. So for instance, like this 5-minute one, this 5-minute, say in the scenario that we get a bounce up here, this 5-minute one has obviously exited the down position into the green, and then in the scenario maybe then it tumbles down. Perhaps say if the 4-hour was in red from the top, this would just obviously just be a little bounce and then continuation to the downside. Thanks for your question, Math. So when Stonksy colour changes, how long do you wait for confirmation for the trade? So you should always wait at least 1 bar, because the colour change can change in an active bar. So for instance, this one, obviously this one that we've just had here, that obviously changed to a green background, but while that candle was still open, that could have, say if it dropped down here, then the background could have stayed red. Obviously it's changed to green, but while the bar is open, it can colour change. Obviously it's got the colour change now because it's closed. But yeah, in terms of changing colour, say if you've seen it flickering, green, if we was on it before and we've seen it flickering green and red, we'd want to obviously wait to see what happened on the candle close. And that's obviously particularly useful on these lower time frames, like the 3-minute and stuff. Waiting for the actual colour change, like here. So waiting for that to definitely open in the red colour before the downside. Yeah, it's the same. Yeah, it's the same. Yeah, you want to, obviously some of them, even on say the higher time frames, you'll have ones like this where it might not follow through. It might just be 1 bar or 2 bar color change, and then obviously it will turn to white, or maybe the opposite color. But yeah, you want to at least wait for 1 bar close to cement the color changing, because like I said, it can flick to the other color if the price takes a drastic change quickly. So yeah, the color change is cemented once the candle's closed on that color. No problem at all. I'm glad I could answer your question. Right, well, thank you very much for tuning in, everyone. Yeah, it's great to be doing these, and hopefully, yeah, I'll see you all in on Monday. Have a great weekend, and if you're trading over the weekend, yeah, Stonksy will be there with you 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Yeah, so I'll catch you all on Monday. Thanks again.